my foot fell asleep already.
We got Taylor Swift,
Anti-hero.
Anti-Hero. We should have done the album in numeric order, but I want to do the 2 music videos first.
I have this thing where I get older, but just never wiser. Midnights become my afternoons. When my depression works the graveyard shift, all of the people I've ghosted stand there in the room. I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I end up in crisis. Still is all this time. I wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving, 'cause you got tired of my scheming. For the last time, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
So interesting. I look at the sun, but never in the mirror. What do you think about that line?
I think about that she's not reflecting as much as she should, because she gets a visit from herself. And that really highlights like what she's talking about. It's like she's talking about herself and the issues within herself and like the crisis that she has with what she's going through. But I just don't know exactly what she's referring to.
Yeah, I thought it was so like
It sounds like internal conflict to me though.
sort of, right? Like that's kind of what I got. So when you think about looking at a sun, like it's nearly impossible to stare directly at a sun. And for me, hearing that she'd rather look at the sun than even look at her own reflection, I think it's saying a lot.
I mean, and that makes sense, right? It's like when it's easy for us to point out the flaws of other people than to reflect back and look at our own flaws. So it's the hardest thing to look at is yourself. And that rings very true to me.
Yeah.
Must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
See, and so like this is herself teaching her. And obviously this part of her is not good for her. Like the first thing she writes on the board is, everyone will betray you. And she's taking note of that. And it's obvious that she's steering her in the wrong direction, because obviously not everyone will betray her, but she has this paranoia about how she's going to be treated by people because her past experiences have led her to believe that this is how people will treat her, because she's probably been treated poorly in the past. And so because our brain's wired to perceive our future based on our past experiences, she has a negative view of how people are.
I wonder if it has something to do with the way that she's dressed, right? So you see that she opens the door, and so she's in her house and she's protected, right? Again, with this whole like protection in the house. I'm going to roll with that. She's in her house. She opens the door to herself, but this entity, like she's dressed different, her hair's down. I think she has this different persona that she has to have as a performer. And so this is kind of like her protective layer, because you also don't want to be extremely vulnerable, especially at the level that you're in, where she's at, right? She has to have some sort of bulletproof vest, especially when she's, out there performing and in front of everyone. And so I wonder if this is her showing us that she does have these two different personalities or personas that she has to.
And that would make sense, because we need defense mechanisms. It's why we have defense mechanisms. They're there to protect us. So in her case, she gets a lot of attention. She is an artist. And having this shell, as you call it, like this protective layer, prevents her from getting hurt or actually letting people into who she really is.
Too big to hang out, slowly lurching toward your favorite city. Pierced through the heart, but never killed. Did you hear my covert narcissism? Like disguises altruism, like some kind of congressman. I wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving, and life will lose all its meaning.
And obviously, like, you have the whole Alice in Wonderland reference here. And the pin, vote for me for everything, indicates, like, how she wants to be perceived. Like, she wants to be liked, right? Like most people, like, we all want to be accepted. And sometimes that's very toxic, because if we always want to be accepted for everything, it's hard to be authentic, because by being authentic, there are going to be some people that don't resonate with you. So that's a very hard belief to have for anyone to have, where you want to be accepted by everyone, because that's at some point that's going to lead to being let down, because you can't be liked by everyone, like, because we all have like different beliefs and different standards.
Yeah. I thought it was funny when she took it literal as well, where she said too big to hang out. In my head, I thought about like her celebrity status. Like, she's obviously huge physically, right? But also in a sense where maybe she's talking about how she just can't be a normal person, right? Like, she's too big in terms of being recognized as a celebrity.
Right, she like sticks out like a sore thumb. So I love the metaphoric and literal reference here of her being too big.
Yeah, but spot on about the Alice in Wonderland reference.
Again, Alice in Wonderland, like, she's lost in this world, you know? And I think that's what Taylor's trying to indicate, like, all this fame and her having the stature that she has and the fame, you can get lost in that. And I think that's why she uses the Alice in Wonderland reference, because she's lost in this world that she doesn't know how to navigate in.
Day I'll watch as you're leaving, and life will lose all its meaning. For the last time, it's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me. At tea time, everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror.
Right, and here, this is perfect. Like, it really illustrates like how she's such a hard critic on herself. Like, she's looking at herself and she's judging herself, she's critiquing herself, like looking at the scale. Maybe in this case, and this is an assumption, but I think it's a good assumption, where in this case, like, you're not at the weight that you should be. And obviously, if you take that to the extreme, that can lead to anorexia, which is common amongst like models and people that want to be physically attractive, at least in that sense. And if you're going by that standard.
And actually, even in that previous slide scene, I mean, she's drinking, and she's drinking to the point where she's puking.
Right.
You know, like, she's not even stopping herself. So
It's the lack of control, I think.
and maybe pressure.
I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. I have this dream, my daughter-in-law kills me for the money. She thinks I left them in the will. The family gathers around and reads it, and then someone screams out, she's
Laughing up at us from hell. What? What does it say? It's the worst.
But who got the beach house?
She's having it turned into a f***ing cat sanctuary.
What? Cats don't even like the beach.
What about the rest of the assets? I flew all the way here from Ibiza!
To my children, I leave 13 cents.
No! Wait, you guys. There's probably a secret encoded message that means something else!
Yeah, that's what Mom would always do. P.S. There's no secret encoded message that means something else. Love, Taylor.
Okay. Great. Well, good job, Chad. You finally pushed it too far.
What are you implying by that?
I think she's implying that you haven't hesitated to trade on Mom's name.
Excuse me?
And do you not remember your book, Growing Up Swift?
And your stupid podcast, Life Comes at You Swiftly, which I'm pretty sure you're recording for on your phone right now. Chad,
At a funeral,
come on!
Chad!
Okay, well, why don't you go cry about it at the country club that you name-dropped Mom to get into, Preston? And Kimber, you're literally wearing her clothes right now.
No, I'm not.
That's from the Fearless Tour 2009.
Okay, well, you know what? We were very, very close. I miss her.
They were so close.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. I think she killed her.
You've gone too far!
Okay, Kimber was the last one with her. She didn't fall off that balcony. She was pushed.
It's me. I am the problem. It's me. It's me. I am the problem. It's me. It's me. Hi. Everybody agrees. Everybody agrees. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. The problem. It's me. Times. Everybody agrees. I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero.
It's not her, it's everyone else.
Hmm.
That's what I think. Oh my god, I love how like toward the end you see like the big Taylor Swift walking. Very cute.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how they all come together towards the end, which I think means that, you know, because we all have different fragments of our personality. Like we're stable, but not so much, not really. You know, there's different parts of us that would act different in different situations based on a lot of factors. And I think it illustrates like that she's still there for herself. Like she has that self-love. And that's why they're together at the end, supporting each other, drinking together. But it's just her holding herself down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good video.
Yeah, me too.
And then